Update on lawsuit. It is March the 17th, 2024, and I just received this letter from a law firm in Washington, D.C., y'all. I'm telling you, America has become a crooked entity. This is the law firm in Washington, D.C., y'all. And what they did was they sent a motion. First of all, I want y'all to look at the envelope that they sent this in. This little package envelope, like a package. It's not even a full letter envelope. But this is the date, 2/29/2024, and I'm just getting it. Okay, the 17th of March. Okay, and this is what they wrote to try to squash the service process. Okay, but what I want y'all to understand is this. I'm just showing y'all this, and I'm showing the American people how corrupt our judicial system is, even down to the lawyers. I mean, there is no integrity, there is no honesty, there is none of that anymore in this America we have today. And it reminds me of the days where I read about England, and when people left England and came to the New World to break away from corruption. And here we are again, history repeating itself. I want y'all to look at what this law firm wrote that I failed to identify. That when I sent it to the address of this corporation, they say at least several different enterprise corporation maintains this principal office. I mean, enterprise is enterprise, car rental. And now they're trying to hide that there's so many enterprises in this one location, which is their corporate office, which is kind of funny. Now, law is about common sense. But these individuals, when they're corrupt, they'll do anything to sway these judges to their side of the fence. So, plaintiff has failed to identify enterprise. This is their corporate office, and they're saying that there are so many enterprise car rentals in this place that I'm supposed to pick and choose which one I'm going to sue. Send it to the headquarters of Enterprise Car Rental. Ain't this some shit, y'all? They signed for it. They received it. And the funny thing about it is this. You see, they got all these people's names on it. It's a criminal act to open up some mail, and it's not yours. But they put all the defendants' names on it. Common sense, y'all. Then they sent it to Washington, D.C., to this attorney's office. As though I didn't mail the complaint and the summons to the right address. I mean, I can tell you right now what's going to happen to this case. They're going to fabricate some bullshit, and then they're going to dismiss it as though, again, another corrupt entity. They cover these rich people's asses left and right. Listen to this. The plaintiff did not attempt to serve a registered agent. Why did you open it up if you weren't the registered agent? Why did you send it to all the way back down to Washington, D.C.? This is in St. Louis. I didn't send it to Washington, D.C., y'all. It's a sad day when there's no more respect in the judicial system. I'm just opening up this shit, y'all. This shit just, I mean, it's comical to me. Unless you get a dirty judge, unless you get another dirty lawyer who can go behind your door, go behind doors and shake hands and make deals. This is how law works in America, y'all. This shit is so fucking crazy. It's ridiculous. We got this letter right here from the United States District Court in Baltimore City, y'all. I see why people take justice into his own hands. Because Lady Justice has become a whore, y'all. I mean, this shit, even the lawyers are fucking crooked. I wouldn't trust a lawyer for nothing in the world. Let's open this up right here. And as I told y'all before, this came yesterday. I just went and picked it up this morning, the 18th. I'm just opening it up right now. What is this from the federal courthouse in Baltimore City, y'all? Okay. Unbelievable. Look at here. Return mail confirmed with plaintiff. Okay, this is the address that it goes to. This is a mailing address. This is the young lady I talked to. She told me that they say this address does not exist. This address does not exist. But this address does not exist. But I get mail there. Now, mind you, they say they mailed this one out. February the 27th, 2024, and it was returned because the post office say this address doesn't exist. But we just got the mail. And this is a notice that I got to respond to a motion within 28 days, which I find very interesting because I haven't even gave you the green slips yet within the 90 days to start this proceeding. But now I'm getting, I tell you, this is so fucking corrupt. They talking about because these people, look at this. They wrote a motion and claiming, first of all, we don't even know if they were served because we haven't got the documents back from the post office. And you saw that recording. But now, from the 27th, they gave me 28 days from the date of this notice to serve a response. And I'm just reading this because I just opened it up. But I spoke to somebody in the clerk's office to find out what the update and everything was. This is crazy. I have not even sent in the documentation from the post office that all this stuff was served. You got 90 days to serve it. I mean, there's a procedure of how you do things, a protocol. Okay, so what? They wrote a motion. Okay. I first got to do what the federal court says I got to do in the proceedings. And one of them is I have 90 days to serve these people. All these people, 14 people, 14 defendants. Okay. And just so happened that when I spoke to this young lady and I had received this motion, I had already went and wrote it up. But the problem is I'm waiting to get this stuff back from the post office to send in. You're supposed to go through these steps, just like they're writing here. You're supposed to go through these steps. We're gonna mail this out tomorrow. The motions, the recordings that you saw, of these people trying to set up this disorderly conduct. And the funny thing about it is, and I showed you what the lawyer wrote, trying to get it dismissed. That's what they're talking about now. That they didn't show nothing but a smidge of the arrest, but they didn't show the police body cam footage of them setting up this. And I'm going to put my in there that they were driving away. If I was being disorderly, why didn't you just arrest me when I first came up there? They were driving away with one of the defendants, the manager, to get a protected order to serve on me for filming on the sidewalk. I never was on their property. Only when I called this Russian a bitch, the Russian police officer a bitch, he jumped out of his car and told me that's when they came. He called his other partner back there. The young lady was still in the car. You're going to see that all in my recording. And they arrested me because I called him a bitch. Engaged in my First Amendment right. Secondly, the same thing happened in Langley Park where he going to be sued again. I'm just showing y'all how corrupt our judicial system is. It's not about honesty. It's not about justice. It's who you know and how you can get around. Just like this other law firm just sent down that we didn't serve enterprise. And they have several enterprises in this corporated office in St. Louis. This corrupt law firm in Washington, D.C. sent their motion saying we didn't serve them. I mean, where has the honesty gone in this country? The problem is, if your employee went through the apple, and then if your manager would have came out and been a manager and engaged and found out what the problem was, none of this would have happened with Enterprise. But they didn't. And the funny thing about it is, free people, not one of those individuals who were working at this time of this arrest and this incident is working at that Enterprise now. That's why I've been down there several times, but I ain't even put no recording because it's all new people. They even hired a security guard to go up in the mug. So you know they did something wrong when cowards move all the way. And the same thing goes on here now. Same thing with the police department. When they do something wrong, they move them to another little town to hide them out so that they can continue. Instead of getting rid of them and firing them, this is what they do. And this law firm here is just as corrupt. I would never use these law firms or these lawyers to do shit for me because they're corrupt. If you'll sit here and lie on a piece of paper about shit, you'll lie to my face as me being your client to try to get justice from you. See, you're not honorable. And I would never use this law firm here, but this is a corrupt law firm. One hand scratches the other. Same thing with the federal judge in Greenbelt, Maryland. Whether this judge here is corrupt or not, we'll soon find out. Because right now, as I receive this, they want me to respond to the motion about the other guy, that other corrupt law firm. I haven't even sent in showing the service that these people were served yet. But the funny thing with this law firm is, this one in Washington, D.C., you're saying that these are not the defendants that I'm supposed to be sending it to, but yet and still, it's a federal offense to open up somebody else's mail. And why is it that I sent these to St. Louis, and St. Louis hired this law firm in Washington, D.C. to represent every one of these defendants for Enterprise. If they're not the people, and this is my first thing. My thing is this. If I'm not the defendant in this lawsuit, and you sent me a letter and their names is on, and every last one of these defendants' names were on it, I would tell the mail person, these ain't the people here. Or I will put them all in an envelope and send them back with a letter explaining to the plaintiff that he mailed them to the wrong address. That didn't happen. This is the first letter I'm getting from Enterprise, and it's coming through an attorney saying with a fake, bogus excuse of why he's trying not to be served. You know, justice in America, I'm telling you, sounds like England all over again. And when the people get tired, you know what happened then. What is this here? Okay, we got another one. United States office. Here's another one. Same address that don't exist. Same address that don't exist, y'all. But for some reason, we're getting mail at this address that does not exist. I got my tripod on. I'm cutting this open. Hold on for a minute. I'm cutting this open because like I said, I just went and picked this up. I got to read it, these letters, and go from there. But right now, I'm showing y'all, I'm just opening up this stuff right now. Give me a minute. All right, this is this letter. I'm just opening it up. This came from Baltimore. Here's a notice. The funny thing is about it, I haven't even sent the service letters back yet. The defendants. A motion to dismiss, and this is the motion that I showed you that I have already written up, and the date is March the 11th, 2024. You have the right to file a response to this motion within 28 days from the date of this notice. Okay, for March the 11th, 2024, I got 28 days, but I'm going to send it in tomorrow. All right. It's the same thing that they claim that was sent to this address that doesn't exist. And I'm not saying this is the clerk of the court problem. That's the address right there that goes to a third party that picks up my legal mail. And I do that because I don't want the courts or the defendants or nobody to say that, well, we sent it to him and he just didn't respond. Okay. I have them go to a third party who will be a witness that I never touched the mail until it came to me. So this is why it goes to this address here, and this person writes it up, everything that is sent to me, and then he brings it, or I go pick it up from him. So this is from March the 11th, 2024. I got 28 days to send in, but I'm going to send it in tomorrow. It's the same letter that they said didn't come, that the address didn't exist. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on. I'm gonna leave it on, but I want to staple this together so that we don't get these mixed up. But I talked to the clerk, nice young lady in Baltimore City. She ain't none like the ones they got in Greenbelt. I don't, but it is what it is. All this is going in this envelope here. Give me a minute. I'm putting it all in here. This coming from Baltimore. This is how I got to keep records of everything. Everything that's sent to me, I keep a copy of it. I got. Okay, here's another. This one's coming from Richmond, Virginia, the Court of Appeals, on my first lawsuit. Now, mind you, the Court of Appeals in Richmond, Virginia, I have not received an order from the judge, a signed order from the judge in Greenbelt, Maryland. I just filed my notice to dismiss, to file an appeal. Okay, here's an order. And he's saying this judge dismissed the appeal against these individuals. Now, mind you, I never received the order. They wanted, I got a money order for $605, I think. This is the clerk. Where's the judge's order? I don't need the clerk's order. I need the judge's order. You see, where's the judge's order? A clerk can't dismiss a case. You see what I'm saying? This is the clerk saying that she's dismissing. What the fuck is going on in America? What the fuck is going on in America? This is clerk is saying, where is the judge's order? Local Rule 45. Well, the first thing you got to do is give the plaintiff an order saying you dismiss this case or you close it out from Greenbelt, Maryland. Okay? I need a signed order from a judge. Now I get an order from the clerk. Not a judge, the clerk. The clerk doesn't have that power to dismiss shit under the law. You see, these judges don't want to be held accountable, so they got the first line of defense. This clerk, this is right here, and I learned, and I got this from the Judicial Ethics Committee in Washington, D.C. The clerk has no power. All she do is collect the documents, put them in a jacket, write them up. But this, an order from the clerk. This shows you how corrupt this shit is. She's dismissing my appeal because they didn't receive notice that the $605, and I ain't received the order yet from the judge. From Greenbelt. A signed order from this corrupt judge in Greenbelt, Maryland. I was informed by the clerk that he had closed it out. And okay, send me the order and the reason why he closed it out. So, but I filed a notice of appeal with the appellate court and with Greenbelt, and I didn't hear nothing else. I talked to the new clerk. She said she was sending it to me, but that's not non-void. It doesn't have a signature. I want the original signature telling me why this judge closed it out or whatever. More stuff to take to the Judicial Ethics Committee in Washington, D.C. And the funny thing about it is this. Some of these people didn't even lawyer up. How can you dismiss shit when people... This is what I'm saying. They're extorting money from citizens and not doing the job for a service. You saw that with the post office. Now you see this with the Judicial Ethics Committee. Not Judicial Ethics Committee. The appeals court. The regular court. All this is just corruption to extort money from citizens. And we pay them through your taxes to do a job, and they still trying to extort money from. All right, I stapled that. Let me see. I got it. Oh no, was that it? Yeah, that was. Fuck it. No, I got one. I got a couple more. Hold on for a minute. This is. Oh no, this is from the lawyer that we wrote up. All right, that's all the mail that I got. That I got from the courts. This woo, this is funny as shit, y'all. And I tell people today, this ain't even about money with me, you know, because when I win or when I get an honest judge, this money will go back. Hold on for a minute. Here's something from my office. Here's something from my office. I don't even know what this is because it got a sticker on top of it. Hold on for a minute. We got this one too. Hold up. Because I promised I would let you all see this. I don't care which way it go, dismiss, whatever. Whatever. How it goes. All right, we got another one. To have it dismissed. Who is this from? Oh, this is from the commissioner. What is she saying? The one that said I was too dangerous, the judges who violated my right to a jury trial. What is this here? For reasons set forth in this memo. And all these, this is another law firm, y'all. They got judicial immunity, y'all. See what they hide behind? This individual denied me a jury trial, and now he wants to hide behind immunity. Ain't that some shit, y'all? They can go out here and do all this. They criminals. I'm telling you. And this is why I'm doing this, to show you how corrupt these individuals. Let me ask you something, free citizen. Do you have immunity? Do you have immunity from prosecution or civil lawsuit? The answer is no. When these judges went outside of their authority under color of law, they lost this fig. Who gave them immunity? Who gave them this immunity? And I'm glad they wrote these motions up, because this is what I've been talking to the post office about. If you go back and look at some of the recordings, I talked to the post office that I haven't received those green cards. Well, now I can go ahead and send all this in to the judges, because this clearly shows they received it, because they wrote motions. They can't say that they didn't receive it, but they're requesting immunity. You can violate a citizen's right and say, I want immunity from prosecution or civil lawsuit. I have immunity. Ain't that a cowardly move by some bitches? And these are bitches. The judge, the commissioner say, for disorderly conduct, for filming on the sidewalk, I'm too dangerous to be in society. Ain't that some shit? And then the judge and the prosecutor says, you're not entitled to a jury trial, even though the supreme law of this country says in all criminal matters, you have a right to be judged by your peers, if you choose so. If I would have said, waived it and say, I don't want a jury trial, fine and well. But they taking that right away from you. Hey, man, this last thing with the Russian bitch in Langley Park, I fired the lawyer, and the judge told in the courtroom I couldn't fire the public defender who didn't even know the law, that I have a right to a jury trial. He wanted to argue me down, that I don't have a right. What, black people ain't got rights in this country now? History is repeating itself, or what? Because I don't want to get involved with these corrupt lawyers that y'all put in place to sway certain shit. I had another guy that was in the courtroom. He wasn't with me, but he was a hearing at this last hearing. He tried to talk to a female in his building, and they charged him with a disorderly conduct. And the lawyer persuaded him to plead guilty because he was trying to get a booty call or to meet this young lady, talk to this young lady in the elevator. And the lady called the police, and they charged him with a disorderly conduct. And you know this dummy went into the courtroom and pled guilty to it? This is what I say. These law firms and these lawyers, I'm telling you, you're going to be found guilty before you get into that courtroom, because they make deals outside of the courthouse. How can that be disorderly when you're trying to talk to a female in an elevator of your residential building? And then you get a lawyer, you pay thousands of dollars to a lawyer who make you persuade you to plead guilty to a disorderly conduct because you're trying to meet a female in your building to talk to her. He tried to get her telephone number. And the lawyer, I'm sitting there listening to him. And then when he gets up in front of the judge is listening to the same thing. He was in the elevator trying to talk to the young lady. And I guess the young lady felt uncomfortable. It became a disorderly conduct. And the man's lawyer persuaded him to plead guilty to a disorderly conduct. Get the fuck out of here. I'm telling you, history's repeating itself. Sounds like England, old England to me all over again. And sooner or later, people are going to revolt and it's going to be a problem in the U.S. This shit is ridiculous. And I'm going to give you another example. Go and take any part of the supreme law of this country and Google it and see how they have changed the definition of what it means. That's why I say you got to educate yourselves and understand. Immunity. Who the fuck gave these people immunity? I don't recall saying these people got immunity when they fuck up. Why is it that they got immunity and I don't? I should have had immunity for this fake disorderly conduct. Who decided that they have immunity? Ain't this some shit, y'all? This just shows you how corrupt this shit is. And how these fake ass lawyers, here they go right here, y'all. They love these titles, y'all. Look at here. Assistant Attorney General. Oh my God. Listen, look at this shit here. They got their response is they got immunity. As I told y'all, a commissioner only job is to make sure you appear to your next court date. Okay? I have not missed not one court date. I have no FTAs, failure to appears. I told you there was a gentleman before me, he had 10 of them. And the commissioner let him go out the door. I got 0. I appeared to all my court thing. You want to know why? This is Montgomery County. You don't want to know why they do this? I'm telling you, the commissioners, they stereotype people, they profile people. Okay? And it all stems back from a case. I think it was down in 2000 or 99 where the commissioner or the judge let a gentleman out and he went and set fire to a young lady in her job. Okay? And they sued the shit out of him. Well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. And it's a disorderly conduct. But this commissioner felt that I, right here, look at the mirror. I'm going to let's see it. Right here. Was too dangerous to be in society. That's what she told me. Then I had to cuss her ass out right there in the jail. All right, take me to my cell. That shit ain't phasing me none. I'm too dangerous for disorderly conduct for filming on the sidewalk. Ain't that some shit, y'all? And it took a judge I stayed in there for 2 days until the next, which I think was a Monday. And another thing, y'all, if y'all gonna do some dumb shit, don't do it on a Friday because you're gonna get locked up and you're gonna stay in jail if they don't release you for the Saturday and Sunday before you go before a judge. And the judge read it and figure out that this a bunch of bullshit. And that's what happened. You know, I forgot it was Friday, you know. So I spent the weekend in the county jail, dirty county jail in 7 Lock. But if you're going to commit some dumb shit, do it Monday through Thursday. So you can go before a judge and have a real judge. Not these commissioners. These commissioners just try to cover their asses. They work for the state attorney's office, and they profile you and stereotype you. I got people who, I'm being serious with you. This young lady right here, y'all, she's one of the commissioners. Assault, carrying firearms, robbery. These were some of the people in the bullpen that were telling me what they were in there for. And you know what they did? They walked out. They let them out on their own recognizance. I walked up in there, and this bitch here told me I was too dangerous to be in society. Ain't that some shit? That's how you know this shit ain't nothing about profiling a person. She pulled my history up, which I already, first of all, which never happened, but I already did the time for it. And now all of a sudden, I'm too dangerous to be in society for disorderly conduct, filming on the sidewalk. Get the fuck out of here. They do not go by case by case. And the funny thing about it is, when you go in there, anybody that know they've been locked up, they know what I'm talking about. When you go in there, they talking about, oh, you have a right to counsel or whatever. But then you waive it so you can go ahead and get on out of here because the shit is dumb. They don't even give you a chance to explain your side of the thing. They make a decision on what the officer wrote up. And as you saw the video, not the video, the recording of how these two officers tried to orchestrate a disorderly conduct, this bitch right here said I was too dangerous to be on the sidewalk, y'all. As you saw in the police report, I had brass knuckles. I ain't have none of that on me. They falsified a police, but they're not in jail. That's the same thing about Tacoma Park Police Department. And I'm going to tell y'all, if you go back a couple of days back, one of their officers was arrested for messing with a minor, a slap on the wrist. This kind of shit that goes on. I just put up a recording of one smoking or vaping inside of the police car while he was on duty. He's still a police. He ain't get fired. He ain't get reprimanded. This shit still goes on, y'all. But now they want immunity. Ain't this some shit? Where is that again? I'm going to show y'all again. Prosecute immunity from suit. Ain't this some shit, y'all? 8th Amendment immunity. Where's my immunity? Why I ain't get immunity? The fuck out of here. Judicial immunity. And 3, absolute prosecution immunity from suit. Ain't that some shit, y'all? They went outside the color of law. This young lady, the commissioner, her only job was to see if I would appear in court the next time. And I have 0 FTAs. Failures to appear in court. I get there before the judges get there. And I'm denied release. I'm denied a bond. And the Supreme Court says everybody's entitled to a bond or a bail. I'm denied all that. Then I go before a corrupt judge after I file a motion demanding a jury trial because it holds incarceration. State attorney says, you're not entitled to it. What? Don't you know what the Supreme law says? And now they fall back on this immunity every time. I even tell a judge, I want a jury trial. He says, he goes with along with the prosecutor. You're not entitled to a jury trial because it only holds 60 days or 90 days. That's not what the supreme law of this country says. It doesn't even have dates, time. And the 14th Amendment says you can't abridge anything that is written in the Constitution. That means you can't change not one word. You can't add anything. You can't make a fictitious law that overrides what is written. And now, since they don't got caught up in this shit, and which this law firm should know, they hide behind immunity. This immunity needs to go. Because these criminals, and that's what they are, the judges, the state attorneys, all of them, criminals. When they do corrupt shit, you know, what amazes me is this. If you go Google, judges getting in trouble, state attorneys getting in trouble, police officers getting in trouble, why aren't they getting immunity? You got some police officers just got life in prison. Why aren't they getting immunity? Because they pick and choose who get that shit. Look at the one that killed Floyd. Why then, he said, file an appeal and say that you got immunity. From, look at here, right here, y'all. Immunity. They could have fell up under that. If this judge allows this immunity shit to go through, get the fuck out of here, man. This country, I'm telling you. And this ain't even about the money. And most people say, well, how much you... I don't even care about the money. The money would have went to helping the citizens around here to better their lives. It ain't for me. You know, I'm well taken care of. Okay? I ain't even worrying about that. It's the point of proving a point to you free people that we got a serious problem in this country with our judicial system and our government. And the only way we're going to change that is start voting these people out of office. These judges are elected officials, and when they run again, say, no, we're not putting you back into that judge seat no more. Or we're not putting you into that office no more. You were corrupt. You showed your corruptness, and that's it. I yet to understand why a government official has not ordered this immunity shit to be removed from the books or whatever. Because I don't recall ever voting or seeing it on the ballot that these individuals have immunity. Who gave it to them? That's what citizens should be asked. Who gave these certain individuals immunity? I know I didn't. But this is how corruption starts. So y'all stay tuned, because I already know that they're going to try to dismiss this case here. We're going to go about it a different route. We're getting all the names. We're going to show you how these corrupt people live, what they do, all that. I don't know if this is a corrupt judge here yet, but we're going to file this motion. That letter, as you saw, gave me from March the 11th, because I just received it yesterday, the 17th. I just received these, but then I was informed that this law firm is taking control of all these defendants, and it's all the same. They ain't got no immunity. They were served. This law firm proves it through common sense. They were served. They're all employees of Enterprise through the police records, all that. So now they're saying that we got the wrong Enterprise. They all in the same corporate. Hey, get the fuck out of here, man. See, this, let me tell you something right now. If with me, and I don't know how other people are, if I commit a crime, okay, I'm willing to go to court and fight it. If somebody sue me, I'm willing to go to court and fight it. Okay? I ain't gonna hide behind no immunity. I'm not gonna hide behind you didn't serve me. I'm not gonna hide behind you got the wrong, all that bullshit. Those are coward moves. And that's all these law firms do. You pay big money for coward moves. Okay, let's see. I ain't gonna call the judge up and take him out to a tennis court or a golf court. You know, one hand washes the other. Well, it happens whatever happens. If I did something wrong, then I'm mad enough to stand up and say I did something wrong. This could have been all avoided if the manager would have came out and asked, what's the problem, sir? And I would have told him. The gentleman threw an apple at me while I was standing over there on the sidewalk. I want to know what y'all going to do about it. But they didn't. They know this piece of shit. He got a mental problem anyway, or fucking doing dumb shit, from my understanding. My understanding is that when the police call, them two police call, they corporate, they say that they couldn't do nothing. But as soon as I call this Russian whore a bitch, he jumps out of his car and arrests me for a disorder. Now, common sense says, if I was being disorderly, why you ain't arrest me when I first came up? I mean, when you came up. If I was being disorderly, if I was threatening, harassing, why didn't you arrest me then? Because I wasn't being disorderly. This Russian bitch jumped out the car because I called him a bitch and the rest of his officer friends are bitches. And he didn't like it. Then they say, oh, I was disturbing the young man at the bus stop. They didn't even have no young man. They didn't interview no young man. There was no statement from a young man. And I told you the young man that was at the bus stop was with me. None of that. There was no witness. Only witness is Enterprise, who they conspired to get a disorderly conduct from. Same thing in Langley Park. They put down I was disorderly to a drunk who was drinking in the parking lot. He didn't show up to court. A lot of bullshit. And these officers should be charged with criminal activity because they falsifying official documents. They say, oh, he had brass knuckles. I ain't never had to own a pair of brass knuckles in my life. But that's what was in the police incident report, that they took brass knuckles off of me. The fuck out of here. But y'all stay tuned. And I'm letting y'all see everything. Win, lose, draw. I don't care. It ain't even about that. It's about waking Americans up to see that we got a serious problem in this country. And that our judicial system, our police, our government officials are corrupt. And a lot of people know that. You know. But as you see, more and more people are picking up cameras, recording, and they disliking what is going on. It may not happen in my lifetime. It may not happen in your lifetime, but history is going to repeat itself. Old England and the U.S. is going to stir back up because people are getting tired. Look what's happening now. People in New York, Chicago are rebelling because the government is giving immigrants their hard-earned dollars. You know, we still got a couple of lackeys in this country that just don't, they back of the bus people who just don't give a fuck. They stupid. They don't stand for nothing. But I'm telling you, more and more Americans are standing up saying we're not going to take this. More and more Americans are arming themselves, believing in the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is what gives you a license to bear arms. Not this card, not this piece of paper you fill out. That Second Amendment, which can't be changed, is what's giving every citizen, whether you're a felon or anything, a right to bear arms. And government can't do shit about it until you use that arms. And I'm telling you, gun stores are selling out, y'all, because they see what's about to happen. And the only way we put a stop to this is we change the administration of this country by voting every last one of these individuals out of office and put some honest, respectable people in here and do away with this, these law firms that keep recycling corruption, hiding behind dumb shit. You know, In this last case, I had to fire the public defender because he says I don't have a right to a jury trial. Ain't that some shit, y'all? Even though the supreme law says every citizen has a right in a criminal matter to have a jury trial unless they waive that right. I didn't waive that right. And now these clowns want to hide behind immunity. A judge's job is only to explain the law. And they can't even do that because they hide behind immunity. Make $100,000 a year off of the taxpayers. We pay their salaries. And they get away with this fucking immunity shit, which a senator or congressman should put it on the floor that this immunity must go. But we don't hear that shit because it's corrupt. I should run for president. And the first thing I would do is do away with this immunity. And we start holding everybody accountable for their action. When they go outside the scope of their job. And to violate a citizen's right to a jury trial went outside the scope of their job. And then we get a law firm. Look at this shit, y'all. This is the law firm right here, y'all. I don't know it's the state attorney's office, the attorney general's office. I think that's what it is. The highest prosecuting office in America is backing criminals. So that tells you something about our government with this immunity. Here they go right here, y'all. Let me find their names again. And they love this shit. I mean, they love to, look how they love to type it up as though they're official. Look at this shit, y'all. Yeah. Assistant Attorney General's office. Y'all need to vote the Attorney General out of office and get rid of everyone on their staff. Look at this shit, y'all. This their telephone number, email. That's their bar. Look at how they put their federal bar number on there. They want to be seen so bad. They want that title. Here's y'all Attorney General right here, y'all. These are the people who wrote this shit up. And they supposed to be lawyers. They supposed to know what the supreme law of this country is. But they just as corrupt. Every citizen is entitled to a jury trial if they choose to have one in a criminal matter that carries jail time. If it's one day, you are entitled with the supreme law of this country to go before your peers and have them find you guilty of the crime. But I'm telling you right now, free people, if I went before a jury, and I knew this, and showed them the body cam footage that you all saw that's on my I wouldn't have been found guilty. But I went before a dirty judge. Hey, one hand washes the other. And now here we are again. The highest prosecuting office, attorney office, is covering for these criminals with immunity. Not that they didn't do it. They give them immunity. Ain't this some shit? Under color of law, conspiracy. These are titles and codes of the federal law. These are criminals. Criminals. And if you look at my recordings, you're a criminal. I don't care how you try to smooth it over. I don't care what this Attorney General office is. They criminals too. You're a criminal. And at the end of the day, when Judgment Day comes, and it's going to come, you're going to stand before the Almighty. You're a criminal. And you're going to be sitting in hell right along with the rest of the people. You're criminals. law firms who back these criminals. Criminals. You can't even admit when you fucked up. You know, everybody makes mistakes. You know, I have a couple of people who say, why you always using them harsh words to, hey, I'm telling you just how it is with me. You know, I don't sugarcoat it. I don't smooth it over. I'm telling you just how at the time I'm recording. Sometimes I even forget I got the camera on and I just open up on people. A lot of people be telling me I need to tone down. Yeah, but this is what America is about. Lying, corrupted individuals. They won't stand on it. They're criminals. And then they want to hold other people accountable for shit. Why is it that I don't have immunity? Huh? Why don't police officers who kill people have immunity? You pick and choose who gets that immunity. And that's what I say about corruption. You individuals who are corrupt, hey, they pick and choose who's going to be the lamb that goes to the slaughterhouse. You should have immunity too. Who gives these commissioners, these judges, these prosecutors immunity? Why don't the police officers have immunity? Why don't the citizens have the immunity? Why don't the trash man have immunity? Free people, it's time to do away with this immunity shit. Who gave these individuals immunity? And they're servants. So why is it that the boss don't have immunity? The people. You know, the guy that killed George Floyd, he got what he deserved. He didn't have immunity. So why do these people have immunity? He was a servant. These people are servants. Who gave these people immunity? A couple of judges got locked up. Why they don't have immunity? Who gave these people immunity? It's called corruption. Somebody got to be the sacrificed lamb to keep these other corrupt people in play. If we do away with this community all the way across the board and start holding people accountable for their own actions and making them pay out of their own pockets, we wouldn't have this problem. And we wouldn't have corruption because we'll start holding people accountable and people would not want to be held accountable for somebody else's bullshit. This right here, this judge who reads this, talking about immunity, she said, hell no, y'all the one fucked this up. Y'all violated his constitutional right. I'm not giving y'all any of that. Y'all go and you fight it out in court. That's it. Fight it out in court. But most likely, I don't know this judge that I'm sitting before now. We did a investigation, background check on him. Just like the last one. We gonna see. Like I said, tomorrow we're gonna send out the sticks with all of the recording on the body cam footage, my footage, the young lady coming out and talking, you know, the little pig that came out in the plastic. And yet it's still, she didn't like what I said, so they called the police. I mean, we're going to send all that to the judge and let her make a decision if my rights are being violated. We made it very clear that the Supreme Court of this country has ruled that profanity cannot be deemed a criminal act. And if it was, why you ain't locked me up the first time on February the 10th? Because I cussed the judges, the 4 police officers out. I cussed them out, called them bitches while they were wall riding. Why you ain't locked me up then? I'm telling you, this Russian whore who should have been fired a long time ago because we got recordings of him with other citizens. He does the dirty work for this chief of police in Tacoma Park. That's why. You saw the recording of the officer vaping in Langley Park. That's a violation. You can't smoke or vape on duty inside the police car. Is he still a police officer? Yeah, you know he is. Criminals hang together until they need somebody to be sacrificed or put before the fire. So y'all stay tuned. More to come. And one more thing I'm going to say this. For all you bootlickers, ass kissers, and deep throaters, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So all y'all who think y'all just going to write these dumb comments on my platform now, you know, I'm deleting your comments and I'm hiding you and you're getting kicked off of my platform. I'm not giving you any time on my platform. So if you ain't got something positive to say or do, go to somebody else's platform because I ain't got time for you. My platform is to show people what is really going on in America. And I'm going to make it very clear to you. This ain't even about money with me. As you see, I ain't got a problem paying the money. I'm well off in my life. $402, $410, $600. I ain't got no problem paying it if it's a legitimate cause and a lawful cause. Okay? The supreme law of this country says everybody has a right to redress the government and file lawsuits. I ain't never in my life seen where we got to start paying to be heard in lawsuits. But again, one thing at a time. We pay these servants to adjudicate, and now we got to pay them to dismiss our cases. Come on. You're not going to extort. You got me the first time. You ain't going to extort no more money out of me. I'm new at this. You got people been doing this for years, but I'm new at this. And there's always a way to skin a cat. You don't want to settle this in the courtroom? We'll settle it in public opinion. We'll settle in at the voting to vote you out of office. That's what we'll do. We'll show the people just who you are. Your lifestyle, the way you living. Why are you living like this off the citizens when you're corrupt? That's how we'll do it. But right now, we're going to do it through the legal way of going into the courtrooms, trying to get into a courtroom to be heard before honest 12 people. In this case, we requested a jury trial. A jury of our peers is supposed to hear, not one judge like the first one. If the judge wanted to dismiss the case, he should have did it before I paid the money. But that's not how they do it. They extort it. They get that money first, and then they go behind your back and do what they want to do. That's cool. Right now, we're sorting out who's honest and who's not honest. So y'all stand by. More to come.